Welcome to a New Life podcast with Pamela Jean, where it's all about empowering women to empower more women. Get ready, friends, to create a new life. And here is your host, Pamela Jean.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to this week's episode of A New Life podcast. I am Pamela Jean, and thank you so much for being here today. Hey, friends, just a quick request. If you love this podcast and you are enjoying it, please like and share it with your friends. Click subscribe so you never, ever miss an episode. It really helps me out a lot if you do that. It helps us get found and rank a little bit higher in the searches and all of those fun technological things. So if you could do that for me, I would really appreciate it. But thank you for being here today. Today we're going to take a deep dive into the transformative realm of action and inaction and how they shape our journey to success in life and in business. The topic today is taking charge of your success in life and business. And friends, it's possible to have success and balance in both of those areas. That's part of my coaching program, Balance Life, Balance Business, and I can walk you through that. It's such an incredible thing. I hope to get a chance to work with you because it's one of the best things for you, and I absolutely love the coaching aspect as well. But imagine if you will with me, do a little walkthrough. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads you to comfort and something familiar, the other to the unknown, filled with endless possibilities. Close your eyes and visualize that. One, if you go to the left, everything's familiar and comfortable. If you go to the right, it's filled with endless possibilities, but there's a lot of unknown. Do you choose safety of inaction, which is to the left, or do you decide to go to the right, going to that place of the unknown? Are you going to linger in the places of life of the what-ifs and the regrets? You know, I hope by the time I leave this earth, I don't have any regrets. I don't have any what-ifs. And I hope that for you too, because there's nothing worse than, and I think, gosh, I'm an empty nester. I don't know if you're an empty nester as well, but you don't want to have the what-ifs or I should have done or could have done, especially after your kids are gone, because it's too late. Obviously, it's too late. So live a life that isn't filled with the what-ifs and the regrets. But every decision that you make, whether to pursue a new opportunity, overcome a challenge, or embrace challenge, carries the weight of personal responsibility in life and in business. Do you have a friend or someone you know that complains and complains and complains about what they don't have in life? But the reality is all of the choices and decisions that they made have gotten them exactly where they're at. I have a saying that you are where you are right now today because of choices and decisions that you have made. It's easy for us to blame someone else, to say, well, I grew up in this neighborhood, therefore I'll never be able to not live in this neighborhood. I grew up on the other side of the tracks, therefore I'll always live on the wrong side of the tracks. I grew up with an abusive family, therefore I'll always be abused. We sometimes like to blame other people for our circumstances and for where our life is, and it's really not okay to do that because it keeps you stuck in the victim mindset, and you're never going to move forward. You're never going to have ultimate success in life and your business by blaming someone else or living into a victim mindset. So every decision that you have made has brought you where you are today. And if we want to overcome something and understand where we are, we have to take ownership of our choices and understand that our actions or lack of actions shape our destiny. Have you ever missed out on an opportunity, a job opportunity, or you were trying to buy a house and you missed the opportunity to buy the house by 1 day or 1 hour, or you took too long to respond to a job opportunity out of fear or out of just not being willing to make those choices? You have some regrets around that. I think everybody, if we're honest, occasionally have had some regrets in our life. But let's talk about taking some action. Action fuels and propels us forward. The catalyst for growth and transformation comes from action. When we take decisive action, we seize control of our own destiny, paving the way for the success and fulfillment that we desire for our lives. But here's the thing, action requires courage. It requires courage, and it really demands that we step out of our comfort zone, confront our fears, and embrace uncertainty with open arms, knowing that this could happen or that could happen, but at the end of the day, it is okay whatever does happen because you took action. Now let's pause a second and shift our focus to inaction. Inaction is the silent killer of dreams. It's the enemy of progress. Inaction keeps you stuck, complacent, exactly where you are. When we choose inaction, we relinquish our power, allowing fear and doubt to hold us hostage. By not moving forward, by not making a decision, we are choosing to succumb to fear and doubt. We become our own prisoners of our own making, trapped in a cycle of stagnant behavior and regret. Inaction is not a safe place to be, because inaction truly 100% keeps us very, very stuck. So how do you break free from the shackles of inaction and embrace the power of action? Again, friends, I feel like I've said this to you like every podcast for the last 100 podcasts, is that it starts with that mindset shift, a willingness to embrace discomfort and uncertainty as a stepping stone into growth. It's about adopting a new approach to life and your business, a proactive approach, if you will, where every challenge is seen as an opportunity for learning and progress. If we stop learning and choose to stop progressing, you're going to stay exactly where you are right now today. I want to think about, for the mothers out there that are listening, when your little one, when your toddler was learning how to walk, did you tell them just to stop trying because they keep falling? Did you say, "Oh, don't try. Just stay down. You fell. Just stay down. Don't try to walk. Just sit there. It'll be okay." No, you encouraged your child. Honey, get up. You can do it. Let's try again. Let's try again. You encourage that toddler to learn to walk. And they want to walk. They don't even know that they should be afraid of it because they fall all the time. They don't even care about that. They just want to walk. We get in our own heads. When your daughter or your son was trying out to make a team of some kind, whether he was trying out for the football team or she's trying out for the dance squad, did you tell her to be afraid and sit in complacency and sit in the world of inaction? Did you tell your son not to work out extra hard, to throw the ball more, catch the ball more, run routes, exercise, do a good workout to develop your body, to be able to play football, to be a good football player? Did you discourage them? Did you tell them that inaction was the best? Because you know what? If you try it and you don't make the team, you might be disappointed. What are you telling yourself? It's so interesting because I work with so many women, and what's so funny is they are the biggest cheerleaders and ralliers for their children. And for other people that they love, they will rally and they'll fight and they'll push the limits. They'll do all the things. But when it comes to doing all the things for themselves, that's when it's like, oh, it's really not that big of a deal if I don't get the job, or if I don't start the business, or if I don't. When it's about us, it's not a big deal, and inaction is acceptable. But if it's about someone you love, inaction is not acceptable. You're not going to let your daughter just not try to make the dance team when she's an incredible dancer and you know she has a beautiful gift of dancing. Or your son in high school to make the football team when you know it's what he really wants and he's naturally gifted athlete. Or the person in band who wants to get first chair in the trumpet and you know they're musically inclined and that is such a good place for them to excel. You're not going to encourage inaction. But why don't we fight for ourselves in the same way that we fight for people that we love? You have to remember that whether you choose action or inaction, it's a personal responsibility that we have to ourselves. Success is never going to be handed to you on a silver platter. It simply won't be. It's something we have to actively pursue with passion and determination. I'm going to say that again. Success is not handed to us on a silver platter. Someone who is more successful than you, I'm sure you can have someone pop in your head of someone who is more successful than you. Do you know how hard they worked? Do you know how much determination it took them to be where they're at today? It's about taking that ownership of our choices and holding ourselves accountable and never settling for mediocrity. Sometimes inaction comes from just the thought and the idea that I don't know what to do next. I want to grow my business, but I don't know how to. I don't know the next steps. I want to work on getting the promotion at my job, but I'm not sure how to go about that. So out of our own lack of knowledge, we'll stay stuck and we won't try. And I'd like to just kindly say to you, that is an excuse to stay where you're at. Sometimes people get comfortable being uncomfortable. And if you want to grow your business, but you don't know how, well, I don't know how to do it, so I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because I know that. That's fine if you don't want to grow and you don't want to reach the next level, but why would you be in business if you don't want to continue to level up and be the best that you possibly can be? That just doesn't make sense to me. So as we journey through life and business, I want you to remember this. We are the architects and the masters of our destiny. We don't get anywhere without making choices and decisions. Action and inaction are just as important for us to recognize and do something about. If you're stuck in an inactive place, recognize it, do something about it, change it. If you need to learn something to move yourself forward, to get past some past pain or trauma or whatever, or to grow your business, everything you need to learn is available to you for free on the internet. You can do a Google search, do a YouTube search, and you will get the answers to pretty much any question you might have. So there's no excuses of lack of knowledge because knowledge is at our fingertips. You know, I think back to when I was learning photography. I had this big medium format camera. There's no screen on the back of those, by the way. You have a roll of film that gives you 12 images, 12 clicks, 12 shots, or 24 shots. That's a medium format camera. And you would take your, do your session or do a test session with 12 images or 24 images. And I would send this roll of film in the mail, which is scary if you think about that, in the mail to the lab. I would have to wait a whole week to see my results. I would have to wait for a week to see if I mastered my lighting, if I was able to capture properly, if I caught the blinks on the person, whatever, to learn my craft. It was practice, wait a week, practice, wait a week. My gosh, now, friends, you can Google learn photography lighting, and boom, there it is. And you can learn it in 20 minutes. It took forever, it seemed like, to learn in the past. You would buy books and videos and cassette tapes and all the things to learn. So there's just simply no excuses for not learning what to do to level up and take charge of the success in your life. It takes big dreams, bold action. And friends, write your own success story. That is entirely up to you based on the choices and decisions that you're going to make. My friends, thank you so much for joining me. You have no idea what it means to have you listening today. You are exactly why I do this and put so much time and energy into creating these podcasts. But thank you again for joining me, and I will see you next time. Make it a great week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us today on a New Life podcast. We will see you next time.